Then I cough. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Premier Madden podcast. As always, I'm your host, Finn. Here joined today by my main man, Rob. What's going on, man?
Nothing much, just 5-0, undefeated.
5-0, undefeated. I'm also undefeated. It's good to have you. We're excited to talk a little bit about the show, or a little bit about the league, a little bit about some controversy, a little bit about these power rankings that the Patriots has so much time during the second half when his opponent's chewing the clock out because he's up by 30 to right. So we're joined today by a good friend, King Mike, owner of the Bengals.
Yep.
What's going on, bro?
What's good? I'm in here.
It's good to have you.
Thank you.
We'll get to why we're having you on a little bit later when we're talking about your response podcast to our response podcast to the controversy of the suspension of Gio. He's back now, right? You play in your game against the Colts?
Oh, yeah, I already won. I played him already.
Tracking. All right, cool. And then you say you got Mixon coming back here shortly, don't you?
Yes, Mixon will be in 3 weeks.
Okay.
So that'll be whenever. Yeah. I'll play the 49ers when Mixon gets back. So that'll be a good comeback game for him.
All right.
The proclaimed Madden God.
Who's the proclaimed Madden God?
49ers.
Oh, the Niners? Oh, we'll get about these Niners. But first, let's talk about these power rankings. So first off, big shout out to my man. What's his name? Nefarious? Is that what he goes by?
Yeah, Pat.
Yep.
Pat.
Mm-hmm.
Man, my Discord app is frozen. Let me open this up again. So he puts out the power rankings. He did, what he said, 1 through 8 so far? 1 through 8 or 9?
He's been putting out throughout the day, too, so I don't know where he's at now.
So,
he's at 8 now.
All right. So, I mean, guys, it takes a lot of time to write about some teams that you don't even play on. So make sure you appreciate these dudes that do these write-ups. Because I used to do them for my main Xbox League, and I just remember, like, I'd post it, and it would just be instantly, like, getting shit on about where people were in the power ranking. I'm like, yo, I just wasted an hour to write this shit up for y'all. Like, can we say thanks before we just rip them apart? So, much appreciated. I'm wasting time here as I try and pull them up. There they are, the power rankings. So, let's ring off the top 5 here. We have your boy, the Kansas City Chiefs, at 1. Followed closely by the Baltimore Ravens, the Madden God himself, the San Francisco 49ers, Anthony at number 4, a very quiet number 4, all right, and maybe quiet because he's kind of been busy. It's like the height of the NFL in real life, so he's been quite a busy dude. Buffalo Bills there at 5. 6 is the Green Bay Packers, followed by the Bengals at 7, and we'll talk a little bit about how it feels to be 6 spots behind somebody you have beaten.
I'm saying,
and then at number 8, the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's talk a little bit about that, Rob. What are your thoughts? You think it's pretty much where it needs to be? Are there any dark horse teams that aren't on the list that might be up there? What are you getting from these power rankings?
Well, I mean, let's just start off by saying number 5 is, I feel, attacked. Okay, I'm just gonna claim bias, okay, because he doesn't want to have his division rival, person who's going to beat him twice a year, the next however long this league goes on. He doesn't want him higher, right? He just wants to put me in my place, right? So I'm just going to pretend like I'm not 5-0, right? I'll take my number 5. We're going to be going up.
Mike, you want to know why we shit on Rob all the time?
Yeah. Tell me why.
Because I just asked Rob to talk about the top power rankings. He spent 5 minutes talking about his own team.
5
minutes. He went straight to him.
Listen,
Am I wrong?
I have to start it off like that, okay? And I'll go from there, okay? Okay.
First and most important, my team.
Exactly.
Yes. But, I mean, outside of that, it's pretty close. I mean, I think I'm not even just saying it because he's here. Bengals, you beat the Ravens, right? So that should definitely influence things more than I think it did. Even if all the controversy surrounding it, whatever way, a win's a win, right? So I think that should influence a little more. But 49ers, I mean, I actually haven't seen any of their games, but they do have pretty good stats so far. I don't know about number 3, but I mean, besides like a few things here and there, I think it's about right.
Well, I know with the 49ers, though, he hasn't really lost himself. I think he lost off a sim, so,
I think they took that into account.
Yeah.
So I know I've talked about him a little bit, but let's talk about these Niners. I'm not kidding with y'all. He's going to be a problem. He's real smart. And what's worse is he's one of those dudes that like wins every 50-50 ball. You know what I'm saying? Like if being okay and good at Madden wasn't enough, it's that he has to always – like he gets every aggressive catch. He gets every deflection. Oh, I got the little one crying here. What's she crying about? Right in the middle of the podcast. Hope y'all can hear her. Go ahead and talk a little bit about the Cowboys. What y'all feeling about the Cowboys while I take care of here?
So, Anthony's been doing his thing. Anthony Johnson he got a lot of weapons in the offseason, Anthony.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Yeah, he picked up, so he got Kelvin Benjamin, moved him to tight end. That was probably, like, I played him in preseason. That was probably one of the best moves of the offseason because he knows how to use him real well, even though his speed's not crazy. But for a tight end, like 87 speed, I think it is, that's the problem. And then he drafted Anthony Johnson out of UB. That was a great pickup for him. Who needed speed on the outside. Got was a Golden Tate. Like he had a lot of weapons with already a pretty good offense and Zeke, Dak, like that offensive line. He's putting numbers in, obviously defensively. He had one of the best linebackers in the league with Van Der Esch and Sean Lee still there. But yeah, Anthony's been doing his thing.
It's going to be interesting, though, because I'm wondering how many of his players are up for re-sign. You know what I'm saying? Like this might be the year he has to make his run.
I think that's why he signed all the veterans he did. And I haven't talked to him about it, so I don't have any insider info. But just because, like you said, he knows that he's going to have to sign some guys. Like between what was it, Zach Martin? He's going to have Zeke. He's going to have I'm not sure. Yeah,
Dak, Sean Lee.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I think Jalen Smith is same class.
Right. So he's gonna have cap hump. So that's why I think he made like
Byron Jones, Alan Hearns, some other names
right
there. So,
so if he can make that run now, he uses a year or two that the vets have in him. It's worth it if he gets a bull.
Right. And I think that. I think he's got to be careful too, because those Giants, though, and we're talking about being, left off of the list. If anybody's going to be right there at 9 after the Eagles, I think it's going to be the Giants. So this division isn't something that he's going to be able to just kind of win. So very interested to see how he's going to fare. I wonder if he's played against any of those division mates already. I'll check that here.
I think didn't he play against the Eagles? Right, he was maybe those.
Yeah, he lost the close one to the Eagles as well.
Right.
So. Yeah, I mean, I think he'll figure it out. I mean, he's just, and another thing to consider is he played a couple CPU teams. He may have only played. I mean, he beat the Packers with I wouldn't say with ease, but with confidence coming out of it. Right, 35-23 win, and I think that's his only other user game. And so he had to deal with Jalen Hurd. So now he's kind of got some tune-up games against the Skins, the Dolphins, a bye week, and then he gets the Giants. So I think that's going to be that Week 9 game. Is going to be a big one to see where the NFC kind of shapes up, or the NFC East shapes up. And Week 9, me and Mike were talking about it before, is going to be a good one as well. I end up playing the Packers, which I should still be undefeated at that point because I have back-to-back. Yeah, I have back-to-back CPU games, and I'm not taking any chances.
I think from last year, I know that Giants is one of the players who I think he threw maybe like 5 picks all season with Kyle Willett or whatever. Right. So he's one of the players who's going to play real cautiously. And I think I'm not 100% sure, but when I played Anthony like in preseason, we have type of like similar play styles that like we kind of rely on turnovers. So like all those picks with Edmonds and Van Der Esch, like that really like that's what caused us to win games. Like those turnovers get easy points. So I think playing something like that is going to be a tough matchup for him too.
Right. Now I'll give Eagles his due diligence, or his credit. I wouldn't say due diligence, but his credit. After I kind of joked on him in chat a little bit about his 4 games to win, he put on a good performance and won a close game. It says he's played once against the Dolphins. I don't know if that's a game that's currently going on or not, but Yeah, with that speed demon and that offense that he has,
Right.
it's definitely going to be something that we got to be careful for. So,
I'm actually playing Eagles this coming up week after advance.
So, don't believe what you hear in the power rankings, though. The Chiefs we're frauds. Ain't nothing to worry about. All right, Kareem Hunt, he's not coming back. There's nothing to worry about with them. Just low key it out. Don't worry about the West. You know about these Ravens, and we need to worry about these Bengals who sit at 7th. All right, let's look at what you're looking. All right, you had a very close win against Quentin, the Rams. How did that one go? And what was the 1 point difference maker for you guys?
So that was actually a really good game. We went back and forth twice, really. The first time we played, we got a disconnect, and it was 7-6 at about midway through the third quarter. So we just thought, as close as it was, we might as well just run it back from the beginning. But yeah, man, he really has a nice Todd Gurley game. So I've never really went up against someone who had a running back that I couldn't stop. You know what I'm saying? So quite as it's kept, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody really notices, but the Bengals, we play defense. We haven't done it that much this season, numbers wise, but just if you really followed us last year, we were, I think, the number 3 ranked defense in the PML. So to get, I think he put 29 on me. That was kind of tough. I think the only other person that put up numbers like that, scoring wise, that outside of the Ravens, we'll talk about him later, was the Bills. So you, Anthony, I think we had a nice little playoff game. I don't know what it ended up at, but I think we're both in the 30s. So not used to high scoring games. So I got to give the Rams his just due. It was a good game though, man. But I was just down a lot of weapons. He's nice with it, but I just had to hold tough and think a little bit more now that I don't have as many people to just kind of rely on as far as high-rated people just getting wins on their own.
What I remember from his game when I did his trial is he was very patient. And it looks like he didn't really dominate in the air. And of course he had a really bad game when he was the Broncos against the Nashville. But I just remember him being real patient. And not force someone he needed to force. So that obviously goes really good with a running back like Todd Gurley, who can go and get him the hard yards when he needs it. Looks like he had 96 with Todd.
I've never played someone who utilized the play action like real life the way he does, and I thought that was pretty cool to see how he was working. A stretch, he'll run the stretch 3 or 4 times. You know what I'm saying? And he'll hit me. It was nice. He definitely thinks when he's playing. So I respected that game. It was fun.
Right. So obviously you're a little bit lower on the list than the Ravens. Now, since the loss, he's put on. You sparked something in him. All right, talking 41-17, 51-9. To go put it on the Browns for the second time in 3 weeks. He gets his rematch week 8. I think that's going to be a sign for us on where he sits. He's rematch being with the Seahawks. Now, did you play the Seahawks? I know they're on your schedule, but I don't know if you got a CPU game.
Nah, I played the CPU. He's been I think he's been busy this season. So I went on ahead and took care of his computer though.
All right, yeah. Well, this is not the season for him to bow out because, like I said, the Niners are coming. Are your thoughts that this is just it's just a week 6 power ranking? I normally don't care. Obviously, I can't say I don't care where I'm at because I'm at the top. All right, Rob, didn't I tell y'all though that I was gonna come show y'all how to play Madden?
Listen, I think you're just fluky. You walked into one of the best teams in Madden. That's it.
I did.
I was gonna say, man, you do got a nice squad, so it's like, but I give you respect. You haven't thrown but 1 interception, but still.
Obviously, I will mess around, but he has been putting up his stats with or without the players. He hasn't. Someone who is not good at the game when they get the Chiefs, what you're gonna see. You're gonna see Tyreek Hill go crazy. But, he actually hasn't just relied on Tyreek Hill. The few games I've watched, he's actually, played bad and smart and, actually played well. So, and obviously I like to mess around, but he's he's okay. He's okay. He's solid.
So I've always kind of been I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm notorious for any kind of play, but I've never been a guy that has a dude at like the best wide receiver or the best running back or the best quarterback at the end of the year. I've never been really that kind of Madden player. I mean, right now Tyreek has got 86 yards a game. That's a lot less than I assume people would think was going to come from Tyreek. Obviously, I got a couple of Sims in there that are probably helping me out a little bit. But I'm not the kind of dude that I don't know. I like running the ball. In my heart of hearts, I like that. Just pound it, and especially in a league where we're talking 10-minute quarters that are taking an hour to 15, hour and a half. I'd rather just run this clock down and get up out of here with a dub. Like, I really don't want to be throwing, because if I start doing that, I'm going to throw myself out of games, or I'm going to throw myself into letting people come back. So I try and be patient. You'll catch me taking a lot of sacks. I don't know how many I've taken with Mahomes. I mean, he is quite mobile. Taking 15 sacks, I don't know where that really ranks amongst that, but I just know that I'm like, all right, I'm just going to be patient. I keep it right around 70% completion percentage and just be calm about it. It's paid off, but once again, I haven't really played anybody outside of the Texans. This kind of put me in situations where I had my back against the wall, and I did get bailed out there. So
Texans is one of the better users in the league, I would say. Like, when I played them, it was down after me and Bengals literally destroyed my whole team. Everyone was out, but he played well the whole game, and I probably would have lost that game with or without my starters. I mean, it didn't help that Nate Sudfeld was in the game, but he like the way he was playing, you could tell he didn't just fall into that position like a lot of people thought. Because I remember last year there was some talk that he had a ton of sim wins, right?
Oh yeah, I called him out.
Yeah,
I wrote some stuff up and I just said he wasn't real, and then he proved it.
And like he got sim win against me too, but like early in the season. But like when I played him, like I could tell he was for real. Like I feel like it should have been closer than it was, but like he's a good user. He's a real good user. So the fact that it's not just fluke. You're not just being bum users. I mean, I don't know about number one, but it's okay. You could be like top 5 or 6 behind the Bills, obviously.
So let's break down some of these. Let's talk about some of our stat leaders and highlight some of the guys that have been balling out. Obviously, we got at the quarterback position, you got Lamar Jackson. He's rocking a 116 quarterback rating. Hasn't thrown too many picks, especially since that Bengals game. So he's looked good. I don't know where he's at with the rushing yards. Probably the next best quarterback. Once again, I don't want to brag. I might even be a little bit better at this point in terms of numbers would be my man Patrick Mahomes, rocking the 121 passer rating. Once again, 3 interceptions, but 2 came in that CPU game. Did y'all catch that, by the way? I did like the CPU versus CPU.
I saw a little bit. It was, they showed different animations. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, I was excited to do an editing video on it and use some of them to clip into my later videos, because you kind of get the full broadcast. There's like a couple like advertisements, like Gatorade advertisements and stuff like that within there. So that's pretty cool. I will say this. I'm a little surprised the Raiders play a little bit better. He's keeping the pick numbers down. Now, I don't know how many games he's played as Sims, but Derek Carr's played pretty fine. Let's see where your boy Josh Allen's at. I see 11 touchdowns, 7 picks. At least you're rocking the over 100 passer rating. And then where are we at with Darnold? Dalton, and you're at 8 touchdowns, 8 picks. So you're sitting right at the Dalton line, right at me. Hey, dude, your touchdown interception is 8-8, and your rating is 88.0. Dude, that is true to himself.
There it is.
Russian leaders, if there was a reason why he's sitting at number 4 on the power rankings, it's Zeke Elliott. He's got 672 yards, almost a clear 100 ahead of Baltimore's Alex Collins. Kamara up there for the Saints. And then,
but look at those averages, though, man. 6.8, 6.2. Goodness.
Right. 6.1 by Henry, 6.5 by Penny. I was low-key happy that I didn't have to play Titans. If there's one thing I really struggle at with my user linebacker, it's stopping the run. I'm not horrible at it, but when people can get going on me and get me guessing, run or pass, girl, I'm trying to podcast. And then even Rashad Penny, but once again, he hasn't played a lot of his games, so that's where we're at. Sorry about this podcast listening, folks.
So important.
Screaming. Receiving yards here. I mean, your boy's up top. AJ Green still riding high off of his huge game against Baltimore. But you would like to see a little bit more of the touchdown columns for your big red zone target. Now, where are they going? They just eating up to
Marcus Green.
Marcus Green. Okay.
Yeah, my rookie.
Okay. Right behind him is Debo Samuel. I meant to ask you, Rob, how's that low 60s short route affecting you? Do you notice it, or is it just kind of whatever?
The only time I've noticed it is like sometimes you know what? Well, I don't know what the route name is called this game. It's like I think it might be called a zig route. There's been a few times where he does that and just slips and falls. So like that's the only thing I've really noticed on. Like besides that, I haven't noticed it at all.
Gotcha. Now, still leading the NFL. Actually, not still because now it's Jermaine Kearse, but David Johnson is still up there. He's got 445 receiving yards. I kind of like it, man. I mean, it's not completely out there. What's that? 32, roughly 5 a game, give or take. I don't know. I like when guys mix it up a little bit. You know, run an untraditional offense, get the ball to a guy like David Johnson. So he's been balling out. Who's our touchdown leader so far? Robert Woods with 6, Tyreek Hill and David Sills, the Browns rookie, with 5. Goodwin with 5, and Emmanuel Sanders and Westbrook with 5 as well. So nobody's jumping out, right? AJ, you know, that's an interesting thing there. Debo, well, since you guys are both AFC guys, so you guys are kind of competing against each other. But nobody's really hopping out. So a massive lead. Watch out for that Terry McLaurin, though. He's like half the receptions as everybody else. So once he starts getting fed a little bit more, it's going to be nice. So about defense, let's look at these sack leaders here. Aaron Donald, doing Aaron Donald things. Now, Deion Jordan is 7 behind Aaron Donald's 11 sacks. Have y'all looked at Deion Jordan's Madden stats, by the way? They're low-key. They're too nice for Deion Jordan as a person. Like 83 finesse, 81 block shed, 84 speed. And they were even better at actually, no, this was started near the beginning of Madden. So they're roughly that. The one that I got in my other league is like up to like 84 block shed and 85 finesse move with a lot of speed. Like when was the last – I didn't even know Deion Jordan was in the league. I had to look up. I didn't even know he was on the Seahawks. So, but right now he's the only – until we get down to DeMarcus Lawrence, he's the only pass rusher that's top 5 in sacks that is a edge rusher. The others are all interior linemen. So Aaron Donald, Derek Wolfe, who I believe got me twice a couple weeks ago, Cameron Hayward, and Leonard Williams. So this year it looks like it's pressure coming from the inside. It's causing issues here. Let's see who the user linebacker rankings are. Anybody wants to take a guess who's at the top? You got it. Oren Burks with 14. I've never even seen Oren Burks. What's he like?
I played him. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, ratings wise, man, he's 73. He got this dude playing like a 90. So
I remember when I played him early in the season last year. He finds a way to like disguise this dude in the perfect position every time. Like I don't know how, but every single play he's all over the place. So
he figure out how to beat him.
Well, no, I mean he had like 2 picks against me. I think one was a pick 6. But there was times where it's like, oh, that should be a pick. Oh, that should be a pick. Like, he just flying over the field.
Make sure you're watching Week 9. I'll show you how to play some football. Oren's nice. 6'3", right? Top end speed at 86 and 90 acceleration. The big thing is that 92 jumping and that 86 agility. And that probably helps him a ton. And I guess what's good, and I don't know if he does this, but he's got him up to 80 zone. So being able to, like, when you get in somebody's head so much, and we talked about this when we did the User Linebacker Academy podcast, is you get in somebody's head, they start watching that guy, and then you switch to another dude. And then now they're trying to find your user throughout the play, and it's causing some issues. So
one cool thing that I'm seeing that's way different from last year, if you would have set it up with interceptions, who's leading, you would have seen nothing but middle linebackers. It's pretty cool to finally see some free safeties and cornerbacks and, you know what I mean, some safeties instead of all middle linebackers with 12 interceptions.
I think a lot of people are learning. Like, they kind of see play styles now as more than last season. Last season, like, earlier in the season, people were throwing 5 and 6 like picks a game to the same player.
Yep.
Now people are looking out for that. They know like when they go up against like Anthony or myself, they know okay, like he loves the middle linebacker user. Like same thing. I'm sure it's gonna develop with Finn and Burks too. Like people see that, so they're gonna game plan around it. Like I think that's a big factor this year. People game plan around certain players.
Interesting point that we learned from our opponents, and we see them multiple times, and thus you change the way you play. I'm glad you said that.
Right. So I think that's the perfect segue into the subtweet of I don't know how you verbalize a subtweet, but you just did it. So let's talk a little bit about it. So we're a couple weeks removed from the suspension, and this is why we invited you on the show. So I guess we could talk about this, and then we'll get into some of the big matchups to look ahead for. We're going to also bring back I talked to JT today. We're going to bring back some of these play-by-play commentaries during some of the games of the week. Now that I'm here, it was fun to do the first one, but now that I'm a part of the league, it's just easier for me to find the want to do it because I know what to talk about. I can talk. I couldn't fill time last time because I didn't know shit about the league. I was just talking shit. But anyway, so recapping here, we'll recap what we thought, and then we'll let you have the floor on why, right? Because we didn't really talk about why. You did it in your podcast. If you haven't listened, we'll fill it in. So obviously the suspension came down because of running inside zone too many times to start a game. I don't think you ran it too many times as a play that you would see across the game. I think what the folks that reviewed the game felt was that running it as the only running play until halfway through the third was the issue. Everything else you were clear on, by the way. There is no there was no discussion on watching you watching your gameplay to see if maybe this is something you're doing. The nano thing, you've been cleared of all charges. Okay, now I know it's like, and I don't want to bring this up, but it's like when these folks in real life will like accuse a guy of doing something and throw his name in the newspapers, and then even though they found him innocent, it's like everybody already read that you did it in the newspapers.
Exactly.
So let's reiterate: he is not accused, nor is he being watched for being a nano blitzer. DJ King Mike.
Yes, sir.
What led you? What did you felt led you to running that kind of offense, the run game, the inside zone out of shotgun? From a personnel perspective, obviously this is an opponent you played a lot, so I want to hear what you think, and then we'll discuss it.
So really, it was really simple. I have been watching a lot of high school football because, like I said in the chat, my nephew plays cornerback for Round Rock High School, which is out here in Austin. So I have been watching a lot of that and a lot of UT football. And then I just kind of listened to these talking heads tell me, when you're going up against an aggressive defense or a great defense, what a quarterback needs to do is simplify his reads. You know what I'm saying? So you want to get the ball out quick. You don't want to do any wild progressions. Just make sure you just kind of matriculate the ball down the field. So, like I said, watching my nephew play high school football, watching UT, watching how they run these simple offenses, I was like, well, I'm gonna try to figure out something like that on Madden. And what I came across was, okay, let's throw Dalton in the shotgun. Mixon's hurt, and let's just see how he lines up. Because the main thing when you play the Ravens, for me at least, was that edge pressure that he brings. He runs that 4-4. Judon gets in there. Used to have Suggs that would get in there real quick. So I just wanted to make sure that if I saw 4-4, if I saw any kind of coverage where he's bringing his people up, that I wanted to have clear, defined reads. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to hit that slant. I wanted to hit that flat or that comeback that I ran that concept. Or if I don't see anyone on the left side of the field as far as the D line, just kind of audible to that run. So I'd come up to the play, say, pick my play, come up, see nobody over there, square triangle, run the run play. That's kind of how that happened. It wasn't like I was just saying, I'm going to run this inside zone just because that's the only run play I know how to run. I mean, listen, when I have Joe Mixon, when I have my people, I let the league in rushing. You know what I'm saying? No one ever had any kind of problem with the type of run plays that I run. I just had to switch it up because of that guy. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him for forcing me to switch it up. But at the same time, man, if you really think about it, football concept-wise, it's very sound.
Right. I think, and what I want to reiterate again is that you weren't in a situation where this wasn't a cheese play. This wasn't something you were getting 9 to 10 yards every time and just abusing, right? So I can absolutely see why in the heat of the moment, you're like, I want to get in the gun. There's not too many run plays available. You know what I'm saying? It's not like football it's not like in real life where you can kind of disguise your different plays with different formations and still go to the same stuff. Like, you're limited by what the playbook says, and almost all the runs inside these playbooks are inside zone. Yeah, you have base. Yeah, you have this, but there's like a couple that have outside zone, but it's the easiest one to find.
Exactly.
So I don't disagree with you. I don't think that I'm not here to call you a cheeser. I didn't never intend to come across like that.
No.
I think, and the reason why, girl, not now. You're normally really good during this podcast. I think the real thing is precedent, right? If you set an unhealthy precedent where somebody could do that, even if it was a non-issue outside of an annoyance, going, wow, you ran inside zone out of the shotgun again, and it didn't go anywhere. Is setting the unhealthy precedent, is allowing somebody to do that and being able to point to that and say, well, he did it, so I should be able to run halfback wheel or whatever the heck, money play or overpowered play in the playbook that many times. So I think that's really the nature of the suspension. It was a quick one-gamer. You had the third stringer. What's his name? Sasso or
So Jamabo. I actually like him. He's a power back. So I wasn't even really tripping off the suspension. And I actually agreed with the suspension. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get all of it. You know what I mean? The whole response or me feeling a certain kind of way, it had to do with other things. But as far as that and people critiquing the game, I'm all for that. It's all good. Like, you know what I mean? Because I really can understand why he got suspended. It made sense.
Right. And that's just, and obviously coming from him, people get frustrated and flustered and feels that way. And I will give you credit, man. You brought a lot of pressure on him, especially, and now we're talking about kind of the defensive side and those complaints. When I was charting your plays, right? Because that's what I do. Anytime I watch a game like that, and I'm charting plays. I'm just right. I chicken scratch. I have to send you the picture. It's like, what is he writing? It's like it's little chicken scratch notes. But I was impressed with how many different plays you ran. It had to be 30 to 40 different plays. And your dominant one was cover 2 sink out of nickel normal, and you ran 7 to 8 times the fireman blitz out of 4-6. But in comparison to that being, none of them were 50% of your plays at all, even close. I think that's a healthy mix-up, and when we're talking about nanos, I don't think that occurred at all. Twice out of the 8 times you had a man on the line of scrimmage. Both times they resulted in sacks, but one obviously looked like a nano. But here's the thing, right? A nano, the whole concept of nano is being that getting a free man in. Well, blitzes are also designed to get a free man in. So every once in a while, you're going to get one that's kind of crazy. And yes, it was kind of crazy. And I bet he was upset about it. I'd be pissed too. How got in.
And it was at the beginning of the game. You know what I'm saying? So he's probably like, yo, what the hell is this? I'm not used to him playing like this.
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
And so the next time you ran it, when you brought somebody onto the line of scrimmage, which once again is the telltale sign of a nano, but that side didn't even get pressure. Ronnie Stanley on the back end got beat one-on-one. So that was – and I don't know if it was a sack or if he tried to throw it and it was a pick. But either way, all the other times you ran that play, it worked as normal. Sometimes it got pressure. Sometimes you max protected and brought max protected, and it didn't get pressure. But obviously you're trading, routes for – pass protection and extra time. So I felt like you played a real sound game. And I'm interested to see. I wish your week 1 game wasn't against him. I wish that was the first one and that we could kind of see it again. But I think now we're going to see it in the playoffs.
Well, the bad part for the league is, like, I kind of figured out something that I enjoy doing with that blitz. And that was the first game that I've ever decided to blitz. I usually I would like to run a cover 2 or something with 2 deep. You know what I'm saying? But when I went into this game against him, I was just thinking, damn, I've tried all of my normal defensive styles. I have to do something completely different. That's why I really ran all those plays. I ran them stock because I was like, well, shit, there's a reason why this blitz is on the game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to run it. I'm going to be somebody different, move around on defense, try to catch them slipping and see how it worked out. And it brought a new kind of breath of fresh air for me as far as defense,
Right.
and trying new stuff out. So I had a good time doing that.
What were you going to say, Rob?
Yeah, before I watched any of the game, I kind of fell in the trap of just like seeing what was on the surface. I'm not saying that he like took things like he I don't know how to put this. Almost like SGO put you in an unfair light for some things. I'm not saying he purposely did that. Like Vincent, it might have been like, because he doesn't know. He might think that looks like a nano because from what he posted, it did kind of look like a nano, even though it wasn't. Like stuff like that, saying like the.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. My man was hating that day. He was hating for a couple of days. That's all it was.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like I was one of the people who like fell into the trap and be like, well, maybe like I don't think he just pulling it out of nowhere. But then after hearing your little podcast and then like actually watching some of the things, like he posted just the one clip of that nano when after hearing Finn talk about it and then seeing you post it, say here, like this is what happened. Maybe Anthony posted, but he said here, this is what happened when we ran it again. And it's like, and you see it's not a nano, it's just
a blitz.
How the game works, just how the game works. Exactly. Yeah. So then like I started to say like, okay, maybe like it's unfair to you just to, because like you said, just putting your name in the dirt, people are gonna think that if you put that out there, especially being who he is, probably like it's gonna bring up like problems for you for no reason. And
so it's gonna cut us here shortly. So I want to highlight. First of all, thanks, Mike, for coming on.
Appreciate you.
Always going to have, glad to have you. Want you to come back on, especially later in the year. We got two big matchups. You're playing the Eagles, Rob, in Philadelphia. So that'll be a good top 10 matchup. And then also we have the Niners playing the Seahawks, and now the Seahawks is back. It's going to be exciting. So that's it for this episode, guys.
Sorry, hey man, real quick. Shout out to the Ravens, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not mad. He shouldn't be mad. I didn't really want to fight. I just didn't like him trying to, talk down to my league mates about me. I'm just keeping my name clean. That's all it is. So shout out to my man, dog. I love that.
Shout out, fuck Rob.
All right, guys, that's all we got. It's got like 10 seconds left. So we're out. Catch us next time on the Premier Madden Podcast.